I came here today just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
We're starting in the United States, where at least 10 people have been killed in the devastating wildfires in Los Angeles. That toll having been revised upwards just over an hour ago.
The wildfires ravaging Los Angeles have left a trail of destruction so catastrophic that it's hard to comprehend. Yet, amidst the chaos, one mansion stands untouched, almost as if insulated by some invisible force. That mansion belongs to none other than Sean Diddy Combs. While neighborhoods crumble into ash and celebrities are driven from their homes, Diddy's lavish Holly Hills estate, a 17,000 square foot symbol of opulence, remains completely unscathed. This peculiar detail hasn't gone unnoticed, and speculation is running wild. Could this be mere coincidence, or is there something more sinister at play?
Officials say that thousands of homes and other structures have been damaged or destroyed. AccuWeather estimates the damage is expected to be worth at least $135 billion. It could go as high as $150 billion. And the National Guard has been deployed amid reports of looting.
For those unfamiliar, Holly Hills is one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in California, a stone's throw from Beverly Hills and home to some of the wealthiest names in entertainment. Yet, while flames consumed properties mere miles away in Pacific Palisades, Malibu, and beyond, Diddy's estate emerged from the inferno untouched. It's a fact that has people asking questions, not just about the fires, but about Diddy himself. After all, this isn't your average celebrity gossip. This is a story loaded with whispers of power, influence, and, if the rumors are to be believed, a web of connections stretching far beyond Hollywood.
There is a new fire, unfortunately, in West Hills, pushing into Ventura County, and we are expecting this fire to rapidly spread due to high winds. This is a reminder that this is a very dynamic situation that can change quickly.
Think about it. The wildfires have already destroyed over 40,000 acres of land, displaced nearly 200,000 people, and tragically claimed dozens of lives. High-profile names like Anthony Hopkins, Paris Hilton, and Anna Faris are now among those who've lost their homes to this disaster. And yet, Diddy's mansion, perched close enough to the chaos to feel the heat, sits perfectly intact. Adding fuel to the fire, so to speak, is the fact that Diddy is currently sitting in a Brooklyn detention center awaiting trial on allegations that have rocked the entertainment world. The charges against him include trafficking, conspiracy, and racketeering, serious accusations that have already tarnished his legacy. So why is a man facing such charges also at the center of this bizarre wildfire anomaly?
The wind definitely played the biggest part, especially with the flying embers. I mean, I remember seeing embers just shooting over my head like, oh my gosh, that's somebody's house. That's someone's property. Just balls of fire.
The theories swirling around are as outrageous as they are compelling. Some claim the fires were deliberately orchestrated as a distraction meant to divert attention from Diddy's legal troubles. Others suggest the flames may have been set to destroy evidence that could implicate not just Diddy, but potentially other high-profile figures in his orbit. And while these theories might sound like they were ripped from the pages of a Hollywood thriller, the timing of the fires and the circumstances surrounding Diddy's case make them hard to ignore.
Thousands of firefighters are battling blazes across the Los Angeles area, and the flames are still not under control. The death toll now stands at 7. U.S. President Joe Biden is calling the fires the most widespread and devastating in California's history.
To understand why people are connecting these dots, it's important to look at Diddy's history and the company he's kept over the years. This isn't just a man who built a music empire. This is someone who cultivated relationships with some of the most powerful figures in entertainment, politics, and even international business. And according to those who know him, or claim to, Diddy has spent decades leveraging these connections to maintain his influence. But influence only goes so far when you're facing legal charges of this magnitude, which is why some are now wondering if Diddy, or those in his circle, might be pulling strings behind the scenes.
It's just interesting to me that with all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
The fires themselves have only added to the intrigue. Reports have surfaced of individuals deliberately setting blazes throughout Los Angeles, with some even caught on camera. And yet, in a strange twist, several of these suspected arsonists were reportedly handed over to authorities, only to be released without charges. This has left many scratching their heads. Why would law enforcement let suspected fire starters walk free in the middle of one of the most destructive wildfire seasons in history? Mel Gibson, a longtime resident of Los Angeles and no stranger to controversial opinions, recently voiced his suspicions in a candid interview. According to Gibson, the fires feel pre-planned, citing everything from the lack of water pressure and hydrants to the mysterious release of suspects as reasons to question the official narrative.
This looks like the apocalypse, to be honest with you. It just doesn't feel like the normal things that happen in your life. This is something very unusual about what's going on, in my humble opinion, right now.
Gibson isn't alone in his skepticism. Allie Carter, an alleged survivor of exploitation who has publicly accused Diddy of heinous acts, made a chilling prediction months ago. In a social media post that has since gone viral, Carter warned of fires claiming they would be used as a cover-up for something much larger. While her statements were dismissed as conspiratorial at the time, the current situation has given her words an eerie sense of prophecy. Carter's accusations against Diddy have already shaken the entertainment world, but this latest development has people looking at her claims in a new light. And then there's the issue of the fire hydrants. Numerous complaints have surfaced about hydrants in affected areas running dry, leaving firefighters unable to combat the flames effectively. The Los Angeles fire chief herself addressed the issue, stating, "When a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply."
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
It's an alarming admission, one that has fueled suspicions about whether the fires were allowed to spread intentionally. After all, how can a city as developed as Los Angeles, in a state as resource-rich as California, fail to provide something as basic as water to its first responders? Some have even speculated that the fires are part of a larger agenda to reshape the city's housing landscape. California has long faced a housing crisis, with debates raging over the need for high-density developments to accommodate its growing population. Could the destruction of single-family homes in affluent areas like Malibu and Pacific Palisades pave the way for this kind of redevelopment? It's a theory that sounds far-fetched on the surface, but in a city where real estate is king, it's not entirely out of the question.
We expect winds to subside somewhat, which will allow fire crews to increase containment lines. However, and I want to be very clear here as well, we are still under red flag warning with extreme fire behavior possibilities.
What's harder to dismiss, however, is the pattern that seems to be emerging. This isn't the first time wildfires have spared the homes of the rich and powerful. During the devastating fires in Maui earlier this year, Oprah Winfrey's estate also miraculously avoided damage while surrounding homes were reduced to rubble. Is it luck? Is it coincidence? Or is there something more calculated at play?
Utter destruction everywhere you go. The three big fires here are the Palisade fires. This is where we are, right at the edge of it. This is a staging ground for the LA Fire Department as well as the LA Police Department. If you would look this side, you will see that this Palisade fire, came really that close to this highway, to this parking lot here. Everything is scorched on the other side.
For Diddy, the timing couldn't be worse. His legal troubles have already put him under intense scrutiny, and now his mansion's immunity from the fires has only added to the controversy. Some are even pointing to his connections with government officials as a possible explanation. Just weeks before his arrest, Diddy was photographed with New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who handed him a ceremonial key to the city. The gesture, meant to symbolize Diddy's contributions to the entertainment industry, now feels like a PR move gone horribly wrong. Critics have questioned why a sitting mayor would align himself so publicly with a figure facing such serious allegations, and whether that relationship could have influenced the timing of Diddy's legal troubles, or even the fires themselves.
A US judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
But let's not forget, this is bigger than just Diddy. The wildfires have served as a grim backdrop to a story that seems to grow more complex by the day. As Los Angeles burns, the layers of the scandal continue to unfold, revealing a tangled web of power, influence, and, perhaps, something far darker. Could the fires really be a cover-up for crimes so heinous they defy imagination? Or are they simply another tragic chapter in California's ongoing battle with nature?
realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
What's clear is that this story is far from over. As more details emerge about the fires, Diddy's legal case, and the high-profile figures connected to both, the questions only multiply. For now, all we can do is watch as the smoke clears, both literally and figuratively, and hope that the truth, whatever it may be, finally comes to light. As questions swirl around the untouched status of Diddy's mansion amidst the devastating Los Angeles wildfires, the conversation inevitably shifts to the entertainment industry at large. It's not just about a single house or even one man. It's about a pattern, a system, and the kind of secrets that have always simmered just below the surface in Hollywood. While people wonder how flames could leap over a sprawling mansion while consuming everything around it, others are turning their gaze to the entertainment industry's track record for turning chaos into opportunity. And let's be honest, Hollywood has always thrived on spectacle, hasn't it?
If they did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol, things of that nature.
The fires have left thousands of people displaced, homes reduced to rubble, and entire neighborhoods unrecognizable. But one thing stands out amid the smoke and ash: the stories of those whose homes were destroyed and the eerie absence of certain names stepping forward to address the tragedy. Anthony Hopkins, Paris Hilton, Jeff Bridges, and others have spoken about losing their homes, sharing heartfelt messages of resilience and gratitude for their safety. Yet some of Hollywood's biggest players have remained curiously silent, names that under normal circumstances would dominate headlines for their philanthropy or public statements. It makes you wonder, why? Let's circle back to Diddy for a moment. His legal troubles aren't just a side note in this story. They're the backbone of the conspiracy theories surrounding these fires. People are starting to connect dots, whether they lead anywhere or not. Diddy is no stranger to controversy, but this time, the stakes are higher than ever. Rumors are swirling that evidence tied to his ongoing legal cases might have been housed in properties now conveniently reduced to ash. Some have even speculated that these fires were set intentionally to destroy incriminating materials, though no official investigation has made such claims. Still, the timing is hard to ignore, and the whispers won't stop.
Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do
And speaking of whispers, the entertainment industry itself has been dealing with its own firestorm, one of scandals and reckoning that seems to grow with each passing year. From the revelations surrounding figures like Harvey Weinstein to the ongoing fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein case, Hollywood has found itself under a microscope. The wildfires, in many ways, have become a metaphor for the larger flames engulfing the industry. Diddy's situation is just the latest chapter in a never-ending saga of power dynamics, secrets, and the lengths people will go to maintain control.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, sexual assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. Reports have surfaced suggesting that some of the individuals allegedly involved in setting these fires were apprehended only to be released without charges. It's a detail that has left many scratching their heads. Why would law enforcement let potential culprits walk free during one of the worst wildfire seasons in California's history? It feeds into the narrative that something bigger is at play, that there are forces at work behind the scenes pulling strings and manipulating outcomes. And if you think that sounds like a plot from a Hollywood thriller, you're not alone. Mel Gibson, never one to shy away from a controversial opinion, has weighed in on the situation. In a recent interview, Gibson didn't mince words when he suggested that the fires felt pre-planned. He questioned how hydrants in some of the most affluent neighborhoods in Los Angeles could suddenly run dry when firefighters needed them the most. It's almost like they wanted this to happen, he said, a statement that has since gone viral. Gibson's comments have added fuel to the already raging fire of speculation, with some people pointing to systemic failures and others hinting at deliberate sabotage.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
And then there's Ally Carter, who has become something of a Cassandra figure in this unfolding drama. Months ago, Carter made a bold prediction that fires would be used as a distraction or cover up for deeper, darker activities. At the time, her claims were dismissed as outlandish, but now people are revisiting her words with a new sense of urgency. Carter has long alleged that Diddy's circle harbored secrets that could shake the entertainment industry to its core. Whether or not her claims hold water, the timing of these fires has given her more credibility in the eyes of those who already suspected foul play. But let's not forget the broader context here. California has been battling a housing crisis for years, and the sheer scale of these wildfires has reignited debates about land use and urban planning. Some have suggested that the destruction of single-family homes in areas like Malibu and Pacific Palisades could pave the way for high-density housing developments, a move that has been championed by certain environmental and urban planning advocates. Could the fires be part of a larger agenda to reshape the city's landscape? It's a theory that's gained traction in certain circles, though it remains purely speculative.
So that, they probably didn't see these notes, and they never will.
But if you're Diddy, don't you, want your notes back?
Yeah.
If you've spent so many hours, gathering, evidence for your side or, strategy or whatever, for me, I'd be like, oh, no, please don't destroy, please return.
What's not speculative, however, is the human cost of these fires. Families have been torn apart, lives upended, and communities left to pick up the pieces. And yet, amidst all this devastation, the focus keeps returning to the same question. Why was Diddy's house spared? It's not just about the physical structure. It's about what it represents. To some, it's a symbol of privilege and power, a reminder that certain people seem to operate under a different set of rules. To others, it's a clue, a piece of a puzzle that's far from complete. And while we're on the topic of privilege and power, let's talk about the people who aren't saying anything. Where are Diddy's friends, his collaborators, the people who have benefited from his empire over the years? Their silence is deafening. Some say it's because they don't want to be associated with him now that his legal troubles have reached a boiling point. Others believe it's because they're scared of what might come to light if they speak out, scared of what it could mean for their own careers. After all, Hollywood is a town built on alliances, and breaking ranks can have serious consequences.
Guys, we are lucky to have Precious Miura here, and she's been at the Diddy parties, and she's about to spill some secrets.
One person who hasn't been silent, though, is 50 Cent, never one to shy away from controversy. 50 has been vocal about Diddy's alleged misdeeds for years, often taking to social media to call out what he sees as hypocrisy and corruption in the industry. While others tiptoe around the issues, 50 Cent seems almost eager to shine a light on what's been happening behind closed doors. Recently, he teased an upcoming project, rumored to be a docuseries, that aims to expose not just Diddy, but the entire ecosystem of enablers and beneficiaries who have profited from keeping these secrets buried. What makes 50 Cent's involvement particularly compelling is his reputation as a disruptor. He spent years documenting and speaking out against the darker side of fame, often positioning himself as someone who stands outside of Hollywood's inner circle, unafraid to challenge its most powerful players. According to insiders, 50 has been gathering information from people who were once part of Diddy's inner circle, former employees, collaborators, and even guests at his infamous parties. If these reports are true, his project could be explosive, featuring first-hand accounts and evidence that might finally crack open the carefully constructed facade of the entertainment world. Whether or not the docuseries delivers on its promise, one thing is clear: 50 Cent is ready to shake the foundations of Hollywood, no matter the cost.
Is everybody familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not Diddy is able to make bond.
One name that keeps coming up in these discussions is Jay-Z. The rapper and business mogul has been noticeably absent from any public commentary on Diddy's situation, and some are starting to wonder why. Could it be that Jay-Z is keeping his distance for strategic reasons? Or is there more to the story? Speculation has reached a fever pitch in recent weeks, with some even suggesting that Jay-Z might have his own reasons for staying out of the spotlight. It's a tangled web, and the more you pull at the threads, the more complicated it becomes.
At the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, according to the defense, their legal documents, the government's saying no. On the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes and a calendar.
And let's not forget the other celebrities who have been linked to Diddy over the years. From Ashton Kutcher to Jennifer Lopez, the list of names connected to him is a veritable who's who of Hollywood. Some of these individuals have faced their own scandals, while others have managed to keep their reputations intact, at least for now. But as the saying goes, where there's smoke, there's fire. And in this case, the smoke is thick enough to obscure the truth, leaving everyone to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes.
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee. He has a civil background.
The entertainment industry has always thrived on illusion, on the ability to make people believe one thing while something entirely different is happening just out of frame. But every once in a while, the curtain gets pulled back and the audience gets a glimpse of the reality behind the spectacle. That's what this feels like, a moment where the facade is starting to crack, where the carefully constructed image of Hollywood is giving way to something much darker and more complex. So where does this leave us? Are the fires just a tragic natural disaster, or are they part of a larger story that has yet to be fully told? Is Diddy a scapegoat? Or is he the linchpin in a conspiracy that stretches far beyond the boundaries of Los Angeles? These are the questions people are asking, and the answers remain as elusive as ever. One thing is certain, though. This story is far from over. As more information comes to light, the narrative will continue to evolve, and the truth, whatever it may be, will eventually come to the surface. Until then, all we can do is watch, wait, and wonder. As the smoke clears and the ashes settle, the mystery surrounding Diddy's untouched mansion lingers. Could this really be a coincidence, or is there a more sinister explanation at play? And why have some of Hollywood's biggest names remained silent amidst this tragedy? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning. Goodbye for now.